everyone to the experiential moment. It's my pleasure to bring you every week so much knowledge and wisdom for one of my favorite people in the world. He knows how much I just adore him, Alan Luke. And Alan is someone who I treasure. He has a heart of gold and so super smart, and everybody just wants to grab him. But guess what? He's here with us. So, Alan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? There's so much I want to say about you, but then people might think.
Hi, Dianne. It's always great to be on your show. You
It's
are such an
our show.
amazing
It's our show.
our show. But definitely becoming, the title of the show is the experiential moment. And I just feel like with your expertise, I remember you inviting me and actually introducing me to the whole path, the spiritual growth, the development of myself. I believe it was last what was it last this so it was like 8 9 months ago,
Yeah,
and definitely
that's
helped
right.
me
Yeah.
evolve a lot as a person. So those who don't know me, my name is Alan, and I call myself the alignment coach. And um, so Deanna and I help entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs, enlightened entrepreneurs, healers, to really allow them to magnify their gifts. As a healer, all of you have amazing healing modalities. You have a big heart to serve, go out there to help so many people. But one thing is, you don't know how to properly brand yourself and market yourself and get the clients that you want to attract. So that's where we come in, through systems, through mindset, through setting up your online lead attraction system, so that you can get the client that you want, so that you can focus on your gifts, your healing modalities to help those that you want to help, right? And we ran workshops, the intensives, and wish we had a lot of amazing entrepreneurs, healers come into the program. Um, and there's so many breakthroughs, so many testimonials, which we have on our Facebook group, right? That we can, those who are interested in joining this very special Facebook group, they can join and they'll be inspired, with a lot of very, how do I say it, very inspiration, very inspired entrepreneurs, right? One person that
Mhm.
comes to mind is Namavita. I'm sure she'll be on a show. She'll be on a show, soon, sharing about her wisdoms and knowledge and the breakthroughs that she gone through, working with you, myself, and our colleague Rose. And it's just an amazing journey, an amazing experience to be able to see so many that haven't took action before, but now they've understand their worth. That's the big word now, the worth,
The
right?
word. That's
The
right.
worth. And then really now shining the brightest light.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that. Yes, she is one of our favorite people for many reasons. And yes, we have to have many of these guys come on and share their experience only because, not Rose, sorry, Nivavita is in her 70 plus and nothing stops that woman. Like she
Hmm.
just goes. And, when she said to me last week, this week earlier, that she finally, um, for the first time in her life, that she was happy or felt happiness even as a toddler. And I said, no, you must be happy when you're a toddler. And she said, no. And to think, when I told her her life was going to change, and she never she never argues with me. And she said, yeah, and woohoo, that she always goes like that. And I said, she said, I believe. I said, what does that mean? The thing is, she trusts and she surrenders to the trust. It didn't really matter what I was going to say to her. And
Exactly.
then she said, I believe. And that's all it was. And when I told her she can take her business from this dollars to this dollars, and I went to an exercise with her um, a couple of days ago and told her how to create and start building the packages. And I gave her a really simple exercise that I just came up with on the fly. And she was like, yeah, so that's your homework. So thank you so much for that. And for those who don't know me, my name is Dianne Ojar. And I don't know who would not know me, but experiential coach. And what I do basically, and as time goes by, this is really not about me here right now. If we want to get into the show, is that, but I, along with my team, Alan and Rose and Vita and everybody else, because we all are a team. We're all students and we all, teachers at the same time. I learn from
Yes,
everyone as well. And what we do is we work with you to have that experiential is a big word. It's a
it
massive
is.
word, and I'm going to hold it in this space because it's to the masses and how you could take this and grow and grow and grow. But the experiential breakthrough in your journey, and to really feel, which is most important, the experience
Mm,
along that journey.
absolutely.
We're here with the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're here with shoulders. I cry on your shoulders, you cry on my shoulders, directly, metaphorically, of course, and so forth. And sometimes, no, I do literally sometimes, it's Alan, my body's like this. And I'm beginning to understand a lot about my body in terms of how it's releasing. So, as
Yes,
we're saying that,
fornication.
I want to first thank everyone for joining us and catch us on the replay, the comments. You're going to learn something in every single show that we have, that you may have questions, or if you have questions, let us know. We'll do our best to answer it. We can in another show. But one of the things we were talking about is, and I had asked this question recently about self development versus, you know, um, self healing.
Mm,
It's a little bit distinct, but there's a commonality as well.
yeah.
No, not because people, and correct me, but let you go first in regards to how you feel, what's your definition of self healing and self development.
Yeah, so I can, definitely use my story as an example. So how I see self-healing, is like we're obviously always healing ourselves, right? But for me, it was, 8 9 months ago, I was going through a breakup and need a lot of healing. Because I believe like when you are at that point when you feel like, you're at a low point in your life, right? You want to get that healing, right? At least you can start to recognize the world, right? Sometimes when you're so deep within yourself and you're stuck in a situation, you are like blinded, like you just like and some people could lead to the anxiety, the depression. They're in their own world, they don't know what's out there, right? So the self-healing part, is that you are healed to a point, right? um, that you can start to recognize what's out there. Your consciousness, your awareness, it's out in the world now, right? And through the spiritual journey, it has allowed me to do that, right? To heal myself to a point that I can start to help and serve others, right? And then through that process, I begin to self-develop, right? The development. So there is a blend in between these two things. But how I believe is that you must first save yourself first, right? And then through the development process, you begin to know more about yourself, and through this process, you can now start to help others, right? So leading from helping yourself to helping others, and that's where you'll get the greatest satisfaction.
Absolutely. And there's no right or wrong answer with this. I'm going to use this analogy, and as a disclaimer, this is not about religion. But I think
Hmm.
having conversations with people, a lot of people recently, and over the months and so forth, the best analogy we could use is the Bible.
Mm,
And you can develop your faith, you can develop your knowledge and so forth by reading the Bible, or any the Gita or Bhagavad Gita or the Torah or whatever it is you want to, right? It's a book of knowledge. Just say a book of knowledge, okay? But that's what
that's
it
right.
is. And the perfect example of this is Catherine, who is a pastor. And Catherine had said when she had her breakthrough, when she became A healing, and by the way, this is not about healing as well, but it's an analogy for you to understand. Because what we
Hmm.
want to do here, we want to start from the ABCs to go, how do you get to the point of success? And it does not happen overnight. There's a process you have to follow, a lot of work. We had to
Yep.
do it, we're still doing it. And this is the reason I'm saying this. So let's say a book of knowledge and wisdom, just to make it simple and, comfortable for
Hmm.
people. But Catherine, being a pastor, had said, you know what? Finally, she understood the words that she was using in her theology part of it. And like simple words, I remember this, like energy and vibration. She was saying it, but she didn't know the meaning of it
Mm.
until she actually, the true meaning of it. So when she started, when she experienced that, like a whole world changed for her because now she was going through her healing. So she was going through her healing, self healing, mindset, everything spiritual, emotional, physical. She had physical, everything, because everything has attachments. She finally understood, and then she started to self develop more. So the openness, because she now was relieving herself, understanding herself, it made more sense to her because she was
Right.
self healing. So all the teachings and knowledge she knew before kind of put things into place. So now she can further go and develop herself more.
That's right.
But she's still healing,
Yeah.
and we all still healing. But I mean, like Alan, look at us right now. I mean, we're real. You're as real as you could get me. I'm telling you, and you as
Yeah.
well. And you're getting more comfortable doing all these things. I mean, before you didn't want to be honest, but that's okay. Now you're a pro. But again, this is self development
It is.
because you're self healing.
Mm.
So what does that mean? It's a self healing. It means that you have to get into your mindset and you have to be ready and willing and be open to changes, to take
That's right.
risk, to release, to get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use you as example. I know we were talking about this. Once you did that, how did you feel in terms of when you started to release and so there's another world out there and then you can go and create something and develop something and now you're involved with so many programs that you don't have time for me anymore. But but you understand what I'm saying? But as you're healing, you're transforming, you're developing at the same time,
Hmm.
simultaneously. So how, I mean, you've come a long way when you talk about self-development. And I'm not talking about the business part. We'll leave the business part for another time
Right.
because this is really the hardcore. And for those who are listening right now, you have to get this piece of it. You have to understand this piece. If you don't understand this piece, I'm not saying you're not going to have success and results and money in your bank account. But what I'm
Hmm.
saying to you, it's probably going to be less work if you start working on yourself to understand and open up and say, okay, what do I need to learn today? And that's self development. By the self healing, I say, what do I learn today? What am I getting from this? That's development too, as well, to a certain degree. So for yourself, I know it was, you came from not knowing, but it is, here's the thing, you did know and you were more business, but you didn't understand any of it, just like myself, and that's another story. But how did you feel now that you realize that there's a difference there? You had to start in one part of it before you got to the other part. It's like a winding road. They eventually meet, everything
Yeah.
eventually meets. But
Hmm.
for you, how was that?
Yeah. I think for me, definitely, like I would, again, like these words can be interchangeable, but for me, it's definitely the beginning is to putting myself back together. That is through the self healing part, right? Rather is through um, releasing a lot of the negative and emotional blockages with me, and then rather is talking to somebody else, to share what you're going through. So being open, right? Being open and sharing and becoming and understand that you're not alone. I believe that's a very important part as well. So through the healing and sharing and really just letting go a lot of the stuff that don't belong to you anymore, right? So that's part of the healing process, right? Um, but to a certain degree, when we start to heal, then the story you start sharing somehow is actually healing others, right? So that's when you start
That's
to
right.
realize, when that's
Right.
when people say, wow, that's an amazing transformational story. If you can go through this, I mean, I can go through the same thing, right? So there's a point that when you start to realize your story start becoming like who you are, right? And you begin to use a story now to share with others, and helping them change their state, right? um and then it's, it starts to evolve into, continue to healing, but at the same time you're also developing. Now you're starting to see, oh, now that I have this amazing story, now what can I do with it? How can I not using it for anything gain or anything like that, but in terms of actually, now this is now part of your identity now, and then also is how can you use that as a bigger impact now, right? So yes, I mean, we could be incorporating this story into your business, into who you are, right? So that is also parallel into how you can attach your story and your business, right? And I'm sure if you see a lot of these
Absolutely.
heroes journey, right, where they have been, they've gone to the lowest point in their life, and then they no, there was a point in time that they have this discovery, their awareness, right, a breakthrough, and then they discover this solution, and now they're at this point in life. So, but a lot of people don't have that confidence, that assertiveness to share that, right? And I
Mhm.
feel is that if you are beginning to, I think the end that you mentioned something very important is that as you begin to share, and you're not afraid of how people perceive you, and your heart feels lighter, and I think
Mhm.
that's when you can start to magnify your authentic self and your authentic message.
Absolutely. Like this is who we are. We're sitting
Yeah.
here, we're talking, and here's some of the things. I don't want anybody to believe, well, first of all, before I even say that, we are a reflection of the other person sitting in front of us. We're
Right.
always, when you talk about sharing and people see something and relates to it, it's because it is. And also they say, you're the average of the five people you hang out with, right? So if the five people you hang out with is not on the top of the line or authentic, or doesn't have to be the richest person in the world, but richness come in so many shapes and form, and you will get that when people will read right through you.
Mm-hmm.
People love you, Alan, because and I'm not just saying this for you, but people literally love you because you have that authentic soul. You have that, that you give out that energy. And yes, this is about energy we're talking about here as well. But I want to say, if anybody is there naive to believe that all the big guys and the names in the guru don't do what we're talking about, you have to think again because they don't do anything. You see them with their beads. I don't have on
Yeah.
mine today because it makes too much noise. But your beads, and they have all these rituals and the meditation and the healing. They go through this ritual every single day. So
Yeah.
they're doing this. How can anybody say that, it doesn't work? You
Right.
have to believe something. There have to be, like I said, we're not here to convince anyone, but I could tell you my mind is a lot better now, meeting amazing people like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we all have a contract for so long. You will be in my life until my life needs to go where it needs to go. And of course, there you, good friends and everything else.
Yep.
But I want people to know that when we're doing anything, you need to start from ground zero. I
Exactly.
would say to anybody, if you're going to start a project or a job, and here's the funny thing, people will actually look up and say, "Oh, God, divine, please, I need help." What do you
Mm.
think that is? You're looking for help, you're looking for healing, you're looking for a word, you're looking for a voice. But sometimes people hear it, and sometimes it's just in front of your face, it presents itself. So
Yeah.
what we're always saying here right now is you got to stop. You
Right.
got hear me saying this every week, more or less. Stop. You gotta think.
Mm.
You gotta plan it out, and then you gotta take action. And what is the think and the planning? The think and the plan. How do I get from A to B? What do I need to do? You need to write
Exactly.
these things out. We didn't have this growing up. Well, at least
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. You did. But it's also cultural because when you were doing your healing and you first started your healing, when we did our elephant session, it was about culture. But
That's
you,
true.
huge about culture.
Yeah.
And we're doing it for please others because we don't know any better, but it's
Mm.
about culture. So we need to get through and say, okay, does this work for me? Not to disrespect your family, that's not what we're saying, but you have to tap within yourself. You really have to tap within yourself. So healing is number one, self healing, self love.
Mm.
Because believe it or not, I keep hearing me saying this again, and there's certain things we're going to repeat because we have to get it installed in your mind.
Yep.
Is that your personal life dictates your business. Your
That's
business
very
does
true.
not dictate your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
How you do
Absolutely.
it one way is how you do everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
remember T.R.F. Eckert says something, how you do anything is how you do everything.
how you do everything, that's a very famous saying.
Yeah.
You don't
Mm-hmm.
want your business to dictate your personal. Now, the rewards of your business will help you have a better life, and it can be, yes, it can be glamorous, it can be simple. Here's the thing, money does not drive people.
Mm.
It's what you can do with the money and the power of the money that's in your hands. It's what makes the difference. So
Yep.
if you can take a, again, look at the masses, look at the big guys. What do they think? What do you think they do with the money? You can't. Money is a form of energy. It's a
It
source of
is.
energy, right? It's a flow of energy. You cannot hoard it.
Mm-hmm.
When they say you give it, you get back, and positioning yourself as well to do this is key. But I also want people to know that they can ask for help if they don't know how to go forward. Ask for help. So I would say one of the we had we I would be the first one to say, my hand, you could see it here.
Mm-hmm.
I did things the crazy way. I did things the opposite way.
Yeah.
I just woke up and say I'm just going to have a studio twice without even
Mm.
thinking of it. I'm working on impulse.
Mm.
Was I supposed to do it at that given point in time? Yes, I do believe that. But at the same time, again, I had to go through a lot of healing as well. And I will always continue to go through healing. Your healing never ends.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You continue to evolve, right? You continue to evolve as a person, and and I'm sure we've been on this earth for a long time,
Yes,
and
we can
there's
say
so
it.
many
Alan, you can say it. We've been here for lifetimes because
lifetimes. Yeah.
lifetimes. I wrote a couple articles about this, and my inner soul and I pretty much talking about that path. And I'm
Awesome.
going to say this publicly, is the fact that we have DNA and RNA, and I'm going to say this again. When a lot of people, again, we're not here to convince anybody with what we're saying or doing. We just want you to listen and be open. That's all I'm asking of you. But a lot of, I would say to me, why am I, and I've said this, why is this not working? Why am I not moving? I used to always have this famous saying, which most people know, you go 1 foot forward and 10 feet backwards, right?
Yeah.
And I have a big foot, so trust me in that
Mm.
one. And why is going on here? Why? It's not until my self healing that I understand it had a lot to do. When we talk about the blood, when you talk about the mother's blessing, you talk about ancestors, and my grandfather was a very wealthy man, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what it is he did. It didn't come
Yeah.
down to us. So um, he left my grandmother and so forth, and
Mm.
things like that. So we reap what it has been sown for us, whether it be in stones or whether it be in sand or whether it be in dirt. We're the ones reaping it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, we had nobody to tell us these things,
Exactly. Mhm.
right? So this is why we're reaching out to you and say, you want success? Success starts within you. This is the
Yeah.
first baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying you cannot do the business side by side. I'm not saying that. But how you live your personal life, your spiritual life, your physical life, your emotional life is how you will also affect your business life, the
Business life.
spirit of the business. There is another topic we'll be talking about down the road called soul marketing.
Mm.
Hitting you, everything has a soul.
Yes.
The emotions that goes with the business, the physical business itself.
That's right.
The business has a mind. which is your mind, what you put into there. So I was saying to you, wanted to talk to you today briefly about start with decluttering. We have a declutter queen along us, one of our trainers. You know, you have to start decluttering physically around us. And I'll be honest, for some reason, I'm going through purification. We're all going through purification, as you
Yeah.
know. So,
Hmm.
and I suddenly just want to start cleaning and moving things around. And I was like, what is going on here? This is not Dianne, by the way. Let me tell her that. And but there's a reason for that. And again, because things are coming into place. Again, remember what we said: how you do one thing is how you do everything, and how you live your personal life is how you live your business life. Now, if you can do the reverse and have a very organized business, awesome. But I'm going to say but here. If you have the opposite in your personal life, ain't gonna work.
Hmm.
That's such a Trini comment inside of me now.
Yeah.
If you, how do you, what is your thoughts about this?
About like the thought
The
about
business, you can have a
yeah,
perfect business running and the
yeah.
home,
Hmm.
the home is just the opposite. Do you believe there's a balance, there's no harmony there?
Well, I believe that yeah, like we mentioned, how you do anything is how you do everything. So you have to first take care of your life first, make sure your life is in alignment, right? And really heal yourself to a point that you actually have an interest in others, right? Sometimes when you're so stuck in your own problem, right? I remember talking to a person the other day. Is let's say if you have massive pain on your leg, right? And there's $10,000 like right in front of you. If you have this massive pain, you have no motivation to even go pick up that $10,000, right? So you have to take care of yourself first, right? You're physically, your health, and you emotionally, right? When you're in alignment, right, with that, and then when you start to see the world, you see it more um, with more motivation, and you start to see how you can help people more, right? So you have to first take care of yourself, go through your healing, and then you can now take that and build on your business. Right now, when you're at a state that you are at your best self, right? Now you can start to see, oh, what I can do, how I can help others, how can I was actually, I think I dropped about your show earlier and about joint venture, and yeah, how do you form joint venture, and there's so much stuff you can do. But if you don't take good care of yourself right now, right, you don't have the motivation to do it, then how can you start to put out, your best gift, right? And work with others, and do all the best thing you can, you come to this life to do, right? So yes, um, to make the answer short, yes, there is a very close correlation between your life and your business.
Well, I want to add to your 10,000, okay? Because I am telling you, if there's 10,000 there and you can't get up, I can guarantee you that by the time you even decide to we're not even talking about walking. Let's even say it's like 12 feet. That's okay.
Yeah.
Not even 12 feet, 5 feet, whatever. By the time you decide that you're going to get up, it's already gone.
That's true. You know what
Because
I'll do? I'll call the end. There's the 10,000. Come on, come
yes,
pick it up.
here's what
We'll,
the
we'll
analogy
split
for
it.
that is. Here, here's what the analogy for that is: opportunity.
Hmm.
How are you going to look at opportunity if you don't have a healthy body mindset and know all these aches and pains do mean something? And I'll tell
Mm,
you why: because we're living it. I didn't know arthritis and all those things meant something and
yeah.
release. My spine, what I went through with my spine. You hear me aches and pains. Like we
Hmm.
went to do some purification stuff yesterday, and I felt like I don't know if you saw my message. I felt like I just had surgery because it's very high end. I didn't even realize it.
Wow.
And I'm picking up other people's things in the healing part of it. It's all good. Don't worry. I'm still like sore, but it's sore for a good reason. I know that. But coming back to the opportunity, so if you have an opportunity sitting in front of you and you can't get up and run for the opportunity, if it's for you. Now, I know we say, yes, that might be for me, it's not might be for me. Yeah, that's true. But if you can't even get up to see the 10,000, by the time if somebody else is going to pick up that, somebody's going to run.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's the
that's
same
true.
thing You can align, you can, let's talk about just for a moment relationship.
Mm,
I always say, if you don't have self love, how in the world do you expect to give love
exactly.
and
That's very
we
true.
and receive love? Because
Mm,
it will be hitting you a smack in the face. Everybody wants a soulmate. Smack in the face, and you wouldn't even know. Why? Because you have your stuff with you, you have your garbage with you, you have your crap with you, you have all those things with you. And why? You have not worked on yourself. Do you really
mm,
want, Alan, you get out of a relationship, do you really want to go back into a relationship with so much drama?
of course not. Yes. So that's where the self healing comes in, right? The healing
Exactly.
and getting all of that
Exactly. To have a harmony, a life in
things.
harmony and balance.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean you're not going to be tested? Yes, you're going to be tested, and so forth. So, reason why we chose this is we wanted to start with the ABC, and we can go further, deeper than this ABC. There might be a minus ABC, but that's not for everybody to have a conversation. Minus ABC, I
Yeah.
don't know where that came from. We could go sub-zero level on this conversation,
Right. Hmm.
but to make it more comfortable for people, we're going to leave it as that. So, all we're saying today is if you're going to start anything in your life or continue to work the way you're working and you're not moving, you may want to stop. Think about what's going on here. I need to make some changes. But what do I need to put in place to move forward with this?
Mm,
This is what we have to think about. And we want to work on that journey with you to get you where you need to be. And there's so much because you just don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to make X, Y, and Z amount of money.
yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Hmm.
Those who have made the money have been in the business 20, 30 years plus, and the market was not, the industry was not like the way it is so saturated now.
Yeah.
So you got to stop and think about what am I doing here?
Hmm.
Money is just for the moment. Just so the money comes, the money can go in a flash.
That's right.
You want the money to stay. And
Mm,
where the money stays when you have a balance in your life
for
and
sure.
you know what to do with it. Your thoughts
Absolutely.
while we wrap up here now, Alan?
Yeah. Um, what you said is all about, again, it's all about making sure that there is a true alignment, right? Into the different aspect. And I'm sure, in the future episode, yeah, we can touch on about, the soul marketing and that, which is very new to me, and I've never believed it in the past, but I know that now as I become to embrace this feel more, is yes, like everything does have a soul, and you talk about, there's specific contract with people, and and that is so true. Like, now my awareness is more open. Now as I know that things happen, like everybody, no matter um whatever you're going through in life, like there's certain challenges and there's certain things that happen, and you feel, oh my god, why out of the whole world what happened to me, is there's certain lessons that you have to learn from that, right? And for me, I definitely learned like so much through the experience I've gone through, and now I'm beginning to now understand and appreciate more of my circumstances, and I can now help me become a better person. Now I can control my emotion more. So, if I'm stuck in this situation, a very negative emotion, as I balance it, it helps me how to balance emotion from like other part of my life. So it all related, it all like correspond together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's all about, we call it about the oneness, togetherness.
The oneness,
And
exactly.
and here's the thing about the soul marketing, just very briefly. We always tend to we always look at the end where we see the dollar signs,
Hmm.
right? And it's not about the dollar sign at the end. You have to reverse it.
Yeah.
You have to reverse it, and you have to work it in a way to know that the money is there, the money will come, but there's a lot of things you have to put in place. So if
Hmm.
you're money driven, you may make the money, but you're going to lose it. You have to
Yeah.
be service driven. You have to be
Hmm.
humanitarian. You have to be
Exactly.
humble. You
Hmm.
have to work, like I said, how can I help this other person become the person that you need to be. There is a, yes, you can make 15, 20,000 in coaching with one client and so forth. It's doable. We see
Hmm.
people doing it all the time, and
Yeah.
we're helping people do it, and we're here to tell you that it is possible.
Hmm.
It is very much possible. And yes, it's happening every day. But if you want to stay in that mindset, and we can say, I don't know, sometimes people say, we want to be, I don't want to say the word here of course, words are very powerful, which I figured that out now. But the fact is saying that if you want to let me just put it this way, if you want to be stuck in your mindset, that's fine.
Hmm.
If you don't want the money, there's masses of money out there.
Yeah.
But in order for you to get to that point, there's things you have to, changes you have to make,
Yeah.
things you have to do. We were talking about landing pages, we were talking about
Hmm.
visibility, but it's all baby steps. We will not put you there until you know you're ready for it, because you only have one chance. You don't have yesterday, you have this very second.
Hmm.
For those who are listening right now, I urge you to go back and look at this again. And you may learn something. If you learn something from here, please let us know. But you have tomorrow. You have tomorrow and say, what am I doing that's not working today that I can, and it didn't work yesterday, that it will work tomorrow? I don't know what it is, but I need to get help.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you, Alan, and myself said that the very first time I spoke to you. You said, I don't know what she's selling, lotions and potions, because that's what
Options.
your words. You didn't know, but you needed help.
Right.
That was the beginning of your whole transformation. It wasn't about the lotion and the potion. It wasn't even about the hair. Your hair looks great, by the way. It
Thank
wasn't
you.
about the hair. It was about that you're ready. That
Mm.
you're ready to make a change, and you were to do whatever it is you needed to do to make that change. Little did you know, sometimes we would think we would click our heels and say, I want this. And now it's not what you want, because I am telling you that when I look at things and say, why this didn't happen, or why this didn't happen, and it should have, no, 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 no. It's what you be given, what you can.
Mm.
Now I embrace, and it's okay, whatever it is you need. And all these little thoughts, 2-second thoughts come into mind. And here we are, and all the different projects we're working on. I just seem to be writing more, and I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
I was a writer in past lives, and I left it as that. But I've been asked to write in another magazine again. And I was like,
There must be a reason. He's prepping you for something
but
significant.
you see my writing, and it just keeps flowing. What I'm
Yeah.
saying to you is that the things that you thought you couldn't do, even me
Mm.
doing the designs and so forth, a couple of years ago, I was drowning in that, saying,
Yeah.
how am I going to do this? And people want to understand you. So this is not about me, but what I'm hoping you get out of this, and I apologize if you believe it sounds like me, I am doing things I never thought in my life I would do.
Exactly.
I couldn't do. Same thing
Hmm.
for you, Alan. You're doing things you never thought you could be in front of a camera like this. I know it's
Mm.
nerve wracking, and little by little, this is self development, because you're also
Yes, it
doing
is.
self healing.
Exactly. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. There's always a first time, and then as you
You
do it
never
the
knew.
fifth time, sixth time,
Well,
then it start to.
it's yes, but here's the thing about that. The first time you when you don't know something, and the first time you do it, listen carefully. If you don't know something, and the first time you do it, the second time you do it, it's no longer new to you because you did it
Exactly.
before.
You did it once already. Yeah. Hmm.
Mhm. And it's the mindset, the suggestive mindset that says, "Oh, this is new. I don't know," but you did it, so it's not unknown anymore. But
That's
if
right.
you never did it, it becomes unknown. So why don't you do it and get over whatever that fear is of the unknown? Because the unknown does not exist.
Yep.
You're the one that's holding you back from moving
Exactly.
forward.
Mhm.
So on that note, I would say, Alan, would you like to say Your salutations and goodbyes.
Yes, for those who are watching, hope you got something out of it and really change that mindset. And the fastest way I know is to change that. Doing it yourself is not easy, right? And that's why it's so important to connect with people like Dianne and myself so we can help you, right? Experience, right? It's easy for us to say the experiential moment, but have you experienced that? Go through the elephant in the room like I've experienced with Dianne and that transformation.
That wasn't difficult, was it, Alan?
It was not difficult. It was um and of course the name is very catchy. I was very curious, so what's this all about?
And that's
Right?
before we really got to know each other. That was earlier in our relationship, right?
Exactly.
We,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't even know what to expect. You
yeah,
just like,
yeah. But
okay.
not only me, like not only me, I've seen so many that have profound transformation. Even one person, like on the spot, live during a live event, you did it with her, and she experienced
They all
transformation.
do. It's on the spot.
Yeah.
They all do them on
So
the spot.
so
Most of
definitely
the
reach
stuff we
out,
see.
and experience it for yourself, right? And that's when you know that you have something much more, but right now you're hiding that gift in you. So it's so important to have somebody help you bring that out. So with
Yes,
that said, thank you, and we look forward to seeing all of you next week.
absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you all so much, and thank you, Alan, for that. And yes, the transformations are on. It's in real time. It's on the spot. And the reason why we wanted to bring this to you again, like I'm going to repeat myself, is that we want you to start, you know, where you be able to sleep at night. And when your spouses and your family say what it is you're doing, my husband said, you have that book sitting there for a year. What are you going to do with the book? And I said, I'm not going to get it printed. I'm not going to do anything until I get it printed. And it was to take action. People like to fire a Kindle under your butt to get up and do something. And this is for you. And this is why we're here. Listen, I will say up front right now for Alan, I was speaking on behalf of Alan and myself, is that Alan do say, we're guided to do these things. I know you don't want to hear that. It's okay. But I get the thought and Alan and just say, Alan, let's just in conversation. And this is how these things happen. These are tools and resources for you. You have a fantastic technology world out there. Go research it. I am doing things I did not even dream in technology. I may have a degree in computer program, never used a day in my life, and that was in the old days. But me researching, studying this up myself, with the help of Alan, of course, and fine tune it, and doing all these landing pages and so forth. Here's the thing: that actually distresses me, to tell you the truth. I mean, I get my sleep, but it distresses me. Why? Because I know if I want to whip something up, I can whip something up right away. And this to me, this is all self-healing for me because I had that limited decision saying I could not do this. So I had somebody very high end would get his team and say, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this, and would send me a file. And I thought it was like something I could never ever do. But because I started to heal myself, the windows and the creativity just keep pouring down on the radio, on here, on the designs. I don't know where it's come on the writing. I don't know where it's coming from. But what I will tell you, I am, so as Alan, we're on a self-healing journey. And while we're on this self-healing journey, we're also developing our skills and tools and resources in all areas of our lives. If we can do it, you can do it. And believe me, when I say that, I mean it. If Dianne can do it, you definitely can do it. So I want to say thank you for everyone who's been listening. Please do catch us on the replay. I would really love for you if you can just put a nugget, a word of wisdom. If you got something out of this, then it was worth our time doing this to you. And this is our service to you. So catch us next time on the Experiential Moment with Alan Luke and Dianne Ojar. I want to say thank you so much and all the success in your business. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call on us. We're just a email or phone call away. On that note, have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.